Here's a fun and completely reckless fact about the 1980s. No matter how old you were, you could go to any club, bar, or concert as long as you had a parent with you. My mom, having me at only 23 and still wanting to live that club and concert life, brought me with her frickin' everywhere. And one of my earliest memories was going to what was essentially a punk/alternative/goth night called Speaks in New York in 1984 when I was 4 years old. One thing that I kick myself over is the fact that I can't remember what kind of music that they played. I would have loved to remember the music, but the only problem with that is I'm pretty sure at 4 years old my consciousness hadn't fully kicked in yet, I want to say. However, what I do remember is what people looked like, the atmosphere, and more importantly, why we left that night so abruptly. To me, everybody looked like they were straight out of the video I Ran by a Flock of Seagulls. It was something that was very popular at the time on MTV, and as a kid, of course, you watched like a lot of MTV in the 80s, but that's what everyone looked like. Very avant-garde, very alien. They didn't look like everybody else, and it was very cool. So I was with my mom, my aunt, and my cousin. So as we're there, we're walking around, we go into this one room. It's like this big room. It's carpeted from floor to ceiling, even the wall. And they have this bench that went all the way around the perimeter of the room, and everyone sat in this room. They're smoking cigarettes, and they're just sort of talking, and we proceed to sit on the bench as well. And there was a thing that punks did in the 70s and kind of took off in the 80s that I didn't know about, but I learned about that night. This is the seating orientation. So on this sort of like bench built into the wall, there's me, my mother, my Aunt Linda, and then next to her is my cousin Denise. Next to my cousin Denise are a bunch of other people, specifically right next to her, these punk dudes. The one closest to her is this punk guy with a green double mohawk. Tallest mohawk I had ever seen to date. So given my vantage point, I didn't see this, but I caught the aftermath, I smelled it, and then got the details in the car on the way home. So double mohawk turns to my cousin Denise and then proceeds to projectile vomit onto her. And as it turns out, this was a thing back in the 80s where punks would throw up on girls for no reason. Anyone else have any experience with puking punks in the 80s? Or was it just us?